here we are talking about women empowerment, and I must say now we are going to talk about awakening women so that we really understand the opportunity which is going around right now in the world and make best of it. So I'm going to start with few frequently asked questions so that everyone can relate and understand the prospect. And I would also like to say things here that women empowerment is a subject, and ये जो 7-7.5 साल पहले शुरू हुआ था, अब ये अपग्रेड हो गया है, एंड आई बिलीव कि हम इसको आगे लेके जा रहे हैं और कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि हम कैसे कोई नई चीज़ या कोई नए स्टेप्स इस पे इन्वॉल्व करें और इन्वॉल्व करें ताकि जितनी भी विमेंस हैं इस सब्जेक्ट को समझ के इसका बेनिफिट उठा के लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा करें. सो माय फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विद फ्रॉम टू अमन मैम. Tell us about yourself and how your journey start within where you realize empowering women is important.
लोगों ने भेजनी है. हाँ, उनको भी तो लोगों लगा के भेजनी है. हाँ.
Good evening to all of you. So I think journey started from a very protected environment, but thankfully the values and the environment which was given was very gender neutral. Yes, with restrictions like we all have from women, but thankfully I came from a family where education was given a lot of importance, and that is where which really made the change. It's been a long journey in terms of experience. I've moved out after my class 10, and then education. I've been in hostel, and then I've been working in banks, and I've worked in an environment with a lot of men around, and I then went on to handle teams again with a lot of men, like in a telecalling environment, and also women. So handling teams of 150-200 telecallers, and then handling retail banking, regional bank, and then moving, becoming an entrepreneur myself. So it's been a long journey, but yes, I've always felt that it is when I stand up for my cause, I think I stand up on behalf of all the women. So every point, whenever I felt that we need to act, we need to talk, or have to make a change in the teams, it was always not for myself. I always felt that if I did that, it was on behalf of all the women. So empowerment, we need to, whenever we, as you rightly said, that empowerment is the word that we all understand. There is nothing new to it, and we all, I think men in the audience also equally understand that empowering women is important, but we need to clearly break it down. It's time that we talk a little more about breaking down what is empowerment in action, is what I feel. And there is where I felt that each one of us can contribute, and empowerment really means that you can stand up for yourself, you can make decisions for yourself, and also follow your passion. So startup is all about following your passion and setting up something. So empowerment really comes from following your passion and being able to do that. So it's just not about being educated makes you empowered. It is one of the tools, but finally empowerment is like you can make decisions for yourself and stand up not only for yourself but everybody else in the room or in the team.
Right, absolutely, ma'am. So same question for you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to extend my gratitude to Punjab Angels Network for this opportunity. And coming to your question, Deepika, I consider myself to be privileged in many ways. We are talking about women empowerment, wherein there is a concern that how do we empower them? about myself. I am here to talk about women being the voice of women and, you know, voice of the voiceless. I think that's what the representation is here. And even if I look back at my journey, I would see that, you know, whatever position that I have today, and a lot of it goes to the men that, you know, I'm surrounded by, men in my family, be it my father, my brother, my spouse, right? So, one is, you know, one may look at it, you know, women are powerful. So what is this question about empowerment, you know? Looking at women empowerment is we are locating the agency outside, right? Yes, we are powerful, no doubt about it. But at the same time, we do need agents, you know, be in the form of fellow women, be it the family members, our colleagues. We need that support, right? And I'm happy to note that, you know, a lot has changed. We have covered a long journey, but I think a longer journey remains to be covered.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree. ये बिल्कुल सही बात है कि we have been strong and we are strong. जब एक जो लेडी है वो बचपन से ही एक इंस्ट्रक्शन में रह रही है, फिर किसी के घर जा रही है, फिर एजुकेशन सिस्टम में आ रही है, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हैं वो जो मेंटेन कर रही है. बट क्या है कि कोर्स कहीं से स्टार्ट होना बहुत ज़रूरी है, जो 7 साल पहले या 10 साल पहले साइलेंटली आई गेस हो ही गया था. थैंक्स टू डिजिटल मार्केटिंग, थैंक्स टू इंस्टाग्राम, YouTube, people start talking about, they are saying things, they start recording their problems, and absolutely we have been privileged to be part of it, and that is the proof that we are here and talking about same things. And I can see यहाँ पे लेडीज से ज़्यादा जेंट्स बैठे हैं, और यही एक मनोबल बढ़ाता है कि ये सिर्फ एक कोर्स है जो शुरू हो गया है, और बस एक ज़रूरत होती है सहारे की और हाँ कि हाँ सही जा रहे हैं. जैसे यहाँ पे बहुत सारे अभी जो सेशन हुए उसमें बहुत सीनियर हैं जिन्होंने बहुत अच्छी बात की है, बहुत सेटअप की बात कर रहे हैं, माइंडसेट की बात कर रहे हैं. तो यही एक छोटी सी चीज़ है जो मैं अपने करियर में मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया जब मैंने अपना करियर डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में स्टार्ट किया. तो आई हैव बीन इनटू विद लोकल ऑडियंस एंड विद ओवरसीज ऑडियंस. सो आई हैव सीन दैट द एक्नॉलेजमेंट वाज मिसिंग बिकॉज विमेन टेंड टू wait for the acknowledgement. Do I? Shall I? So after the moment this agenda start recognizing, so female को ये बात समझ आई कि it is always us who is binding ourselves. It's not someone else.
Very true. I think it's all about mindset, and the switch needs to happen. The moment that mindset changes, and that lot of it comes from your own self-esteem. And many of the times when you have in workspaces or at homes, if somebody keeps running you down, I think at one point you lose your self-esteem. And there is when, you know, the problem happens, that switch needs to happen. The moment that switch happens, there is no question of empowerment. It's about your own self and, you know, asking for your own space, and, you know, and things just, you know, happen around you. And you will create that change. So I think that clear counseling or mentoring on the mindset is very, very the requirement, you know, at all workspaces if you're talking about that. And, you know, the empowerment is just an outcome.
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I have second question, Kuldeep ma'am. In this modern era where women are becoming stronger and the future is women, what's your experience and observation on this?
Again, I may, you know, look at it differently. Like maybe we are just witnessing that strength today. It was always there. You look up history and you will come across so many examples: women exuding strength, women proving their mettle. I mean, so it's only that we very recently started witnessing that. I believe women have been very resilient. They've been very resourceful, and I think these are the things that we look for. We've been talking about, entrepreneur and startup and all that. What is it that you need to be successful in this field? Resilience, resourcefulness, we've been talking about innovation, right? But one thing is missing, and that is that maybe we are conditioned in ways that we are not much into. I would rather use the word we are aversive to risk taking. And why so? Because in entrepreneurship, risk taking is another important element. Now, why women don't take much of risk? Because we are conditioned.
Because of family and the roles and responsibility we are
handling. Idea that women of our family will be protected. Someone will give protection, right? So you will see in very subtle ways. Of course, I would say the family in which I grew up, or the family where I am raising my children. We are not intentionally discriminatory, right? But in many unintentional ways, we may be doing that. So it's not about that the men are biased. It's about that even we have our biases which go unrecognized, right? So there are so many unconscious biases one has to kind of identify, reflect, and rectify. I think this is something that we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I said women needs to be awakened now. They need to understand there is a no competition. If there is a competition, it is with you only. You really need to take care of yourself. If you can, we can take care of our family, our education, our offices now. It's been an era, women are working and balancing. So it's just a journey. We need to understand that the way men are doing, they know how to handle themselves. So we really need to look after and inspire by the people around us. I just want to complete it. They're where the equality comes. This is my prospect. I believe women needs to look things in such a way, in broader prospect, that when it comes to talking about strength and success, we really need to think like as a human first, not as a gender.
Right. See, and research says, it's not something that I am saying. There are, plenty of research available which says, and rather there are theories. I'm not getting into theories right now. There is research which tells that women have split dreams, right? What this split dreams is, she is divided, or she's trying to prioritize. You talked about balance. She's always doing this balancing act, whether family comes first or by career comes first. And any woman choosing career over family wouldn't be really kindly looked upon, right? So this is the kind of, again, it is not very intentional, but it's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I just want to add a bit, we always say that, very efficient women and, multitasker, and
yes,
she's balancing everything so well, she has it all. So I think these are some misnomers that we all need to just we should just avoid these, because finally there's a lot of stress behind these to achieve those terms. So I think women should also, as I said, more than having giving that special status, it should be more like a inclusive kind of an environment, where you embrace the imperfections, where that somebody might just have some responsibilities at home, rather than pushing someone to achieve both the ends perfectly. So I think that needs to be looked at. And also, the flip side of it is that women also should come up and work and put in their best, and they do that. And once they do their best, and I think ask for their raise, or better negotiate better at the workspaces.
Right.
I think at all passes, it has to be more like as I said, an inclusive environment, rather than having one up and one down every time, and because that will always create an imbalance. So if you do too much of women and their rights, then the men start talking that why so. So it's more of an inclusive environment, more of a balanced environment that we need to have, and only then can you have a change around.
Absolutely. When we talk about startup and business, so women should learn, to balance, and this is the right time where entrepreneurship is on boom.
Yeah.
lots of women are, after Corona, lots of women are coming up with great idea and they are doing wonderful job. I mean, that is helping them to set a limit, less or free from the bondage, like 9-to-5 job, something like that. So this is a high time where I believe women can take advantage of this time.
And I just also want to add one thing. I think when we are talking about empowering women, we've talked about education and being aware. I also want to talk about, because this is something very critical, is about being financially literate also. Yeah? Because it's just not about earning money, it's also knowing your money. And it's not about just earning money, it's also about owning it also. So I think that will help them be more risk takers than, you know, always being dependent or just saying that, you know, mujhe to numbers samajh hi nahi aate. You know, just saying those. So we need to break those stereotypes.
Yeah,
and that's a life skill. And we as parents, you know, as sisterhood or as, you know, being lady bosses, I think we should be doing that and helping women in our team to be more financially literate and, you know, be handling their own money.
So yeah, this is going to be my last question. I mean, I really wanted to, I want you to give some tips. This is, there are lots of people here, women are there, men are there. I want a tip so that men can pass to their women as well. So, what tip do you want to share today with all the women present here or all the men who can pass to their women?
I think we've all shared that. It's the only thing that we all should have that mindset. मतलब हम कहते हैं कण कण में है राम, तो राम हम में भी है, आप में भी है. So, you know, we all are the same. So it's just about the mindset, and it's all about, you know, standing up for yourself. And second, as I said, that, you know, this is very true that women always are considered, two stereotypes, that they are less of risk takers, they don't understand money, and they don't understand finance. I think we need to break those stereotypes and consider them in a more gender neutral way.
Same for you.
I would say, like, I think it's more for myself as well. I see fewer women sitting in the audience. So I think, you know, I myself has to shoulder this responsibility, right? We all have the potential, be it men or women, we all have the potential. Who should be the first one to recognize it? I mean, at a certain age, you need some nurturing, some pushing, but beyond that point, it has to come from within, right? And so I feel, you know, from a particular point onwards, one has to realize what are your own goals, what are your dreams, so what are your aspirations, and believe in those and show up for the, you know, for the event.
Yes,
Right.
sure. It's really very important. I really want women to understand focus, determination, consistency.
And also network. I think networking is considered always a bad word, and we should have more women coming in such forums.
Yes.
Not a bad word, but I would suggest, why not hand-holding?
Yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. We would like to have more sessions like this, and we really appreciate if everyone from this room bring their ladies and their daughters to this session, because this is quite inspiring and educational. We are going to learn so many life savior skills from different discussion. So thank you so much. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Lovely session.